Good morning. This is day 27. I set my face toward the Lord God to make request by prayer and supplications. Daniel chapter 9 verse 3. An old man's prayer written by Dave Brannon. Have you heard the story about the 85-year-old man who was arrested for praying? You probably have. That's the story of Daniel, an elderly Jewish resident in Babylon, sentenced to death for faithfully talking to God. Although the prayer that sent Daniel to the lion's den is his most famous talk with God, it wasn't the only time we see him in prayer. In Daniel 9, we read an example of how he prayed. Daniel had been reading in his scroll of Jeremiah that the captivity of his people would last 70 years, and that the people were 67 years into exile. He was eager for it to end. God had called his people to live righteously, but they weren't doing that. Daniel decided to live righteously despite their lack of faith. He began to pray that God would not delay the end of the captivity. As he prayed, Daniel focused on worship and confession. His pattern of prayer gives us an important insight into talking to God. We are to recognize that God is great and awesome, and that we have sinned. In prayer, we praise and confess. Let us follow Daniel's lead. To him, prayer was as vital as life itself. What privilege is mine to come before the Father's throne, to speak to him in earnest prayer, and to make all my wishes known. Our quote this morning reads, "No one stands as tall as a Christian on his knees." End quote.